Gil. Gil. Gil.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to Chapter 5 of Tales of Tyrasia. Joining me this evening is Mr. Green, playing Gralkrova the Exile, the Custodian Kragnova Barbarian.
You just scared the shit out of me. Hi!
Next we have Stark Draws, who is playing Gil, the Fallen Fey Circle of Dreams Druid.
Hello.
Next up we have Ikuni Patata playing Ninsala Yasnala Ostirosh, the Daroshi Ervan Ranger.
Yes, hi.
And finally, we have Captain Heretic playing Sir Alan Thorne, the Cephodendra Paladin.
Hello. Warning to the stream, I have a really bad cough at the minute, so I'm going to try not to hack up my guts over everyone.
So, right then. Gil's gonna be broken. Yeah, probably. We'll see. So, hello everyone. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Let's get into... Well, before we get into Chapter 5, let's talk about Chapter 4. Who wants to summarize what happened in Chapter 4 as a quick recap? Do I have any volunteers?
Usually I would, but I'm having trouble remembering all the details. Anyone else want to?
Me? You're volunteering me, Cap? Okay, here. It was a time, mentally, Gil is broken, bad things happened, the end.
Yeah, that was basically what happened. Essentially, we had two sides of the tape. We had track A, which was CSI Tyrasia, and track B, which was cosmichorror.com. That's essentially what it was. Support Gil this episode. Well, currently he's sand, so
I'm sediment, hello.
he is in fact sediment.
I appreciate the sediment.
He's silly sand.
Get
yeah.
out. Get out right now.
God
Leave.
damn it. Okay, hopefully that's all from you. So as a quick summary, slightly more in depth for those of you who want a quick jog of your memories. Essentially what happened was Gil lost consciousness at the beginning of the chapter. Fell out of the sky, and Ninsala took it upon herself to essentially carry him around Tyrasia because he was unconscious. They took shelter in the nearest tavern, and the tavern keeper allowed them to stay in his room while he recovered. And Gil was experiencing some serious delusions. His mental state was, for lack of a better term, caged, and was having trouble getting out. He was then spoken to by Isithia, the Queen of the Fae herself, who bestowed upon him a mental link to be able to be entwined once more with the Fae realm, Ersalai. And as he was forcefully broken out of his mental cage, at least for now, he became a Circle of Dreams druid. That being said, on the other side of the track, Gralkrova and Sir Alan Thorne, trying to remember names off the top of my head, Gralkrova and Sir Alan Thorne were essentially trying to figure out what's happening in Tyrasia. Something's going wrong, and they weren't around to experience the original assassination. They hadn't seen what Ninsala and Gil had seen. Well, rather, Ninsala hadn't even seen it. She just knew what had happened. Gil supposedly was the only one who actually saw this happen. And they spent the chapter trying to figure out what was happening. Essentially, CSI Tyrasia. It was a whole investigation spree. Finally, Gil falls back into a convulsing, relapsed state mentally, and was on the brink of something. We don't know. Ninsala took him to the Green Root Temple, where they found one of the worshippers at the temple, the head worshipper, Lorelei, who is a Cephaclora, and she ushered Ninsala to bathe Gil in the communal fountain to cleanse him of any impurities that he had succumbed to for whatever reason. And as Gil touches the water, falls straight through Ninsala's hands and is gone. So yeah, there's a quick summary of the entire episode. Feel free to go back and watch if you hadn't seen in advance. Spoilers, I just spoiled the entire thing. So yeah. Ninsala. The first thing that happens, as soon as Gil falls through your arms. I mean, to be fair, spoiler alert at the end. the spoiler window is now gone, so I don't think we need to worry about that. But yeah, basically what happens is as soon as Ninsala comes to the realization as to what has happened, Lorelei immediately starts to chuckle. And yeah, she's essentially like chuckling to herself like a child.
What? What's so funny? Why are you laughing?
And
Bring him back.
as Ninsala, says this to Lorelei, she just full on like bursts out laughing, like stomach hurtingly laughing, like and then you see her leaves begin to very rapidly wilt and fall from her head and body, and she smirks and blows a kiss to Ninsala, and then her whole body collapses into dust.
What?
And all you can hear when she disappears is this constant
No. Oh no. What do I do? Ah. Nah.
So
I don't know what to do.
So basically, yeah, Gil is gone, and Lorelei, whatever it was, is basically nothing more than a distant chuckle in the wind, and these leaves are just like brown and like torn and have like scattered across the floor, like just that.
Ninsala is really destroyed by this treason or whatever, this backstabbing of this whatever that was, and she just like fall to her knees and cry on the fountain because she has no idea what to do now.
So now that I've completely destroyed you, we're going to go on over to the A side now.
Let me just get a second. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just need to just calm down.
So now that I've started this off with a bang, over to you two. What are your plans? I believe you left off with you just speaking to that Evan woman, and kind of getting like rejected about more questions, and then I think we left it there with you.
I believe so. Sir Alan, something doesn't sit right with me here. I feel like there's more come from Tyrasia than is obvious to the eye.
It doesn't bode well. Something here makes me very uneasy.
Just as like an indication of the time, it's now evening. Like, it's getting on to like fairly late evening. It's definitely like sunset. Like, it's light, you can still see around, but it's definitely like it's now sunset.
Okay. I'm gonna turn around and look at Keenlaw. Keenlaw, have you any more clues to what's going on here? Everyone is terrified and something's wrong.
I know as little as you do, my aquatic compatriot. Although I will admit it makes me feel uneasy.
Understandable. Sir Alan, do you think this is enough investigation for the evening? It's almost dusk.
As I suppose you're going to want to rest. It's been a trying day.
There is an issue, though, big friend.
Oh.
Lots of trees, not a lot of water.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure we can find you something.
You swam earlier today.
Yeah, but I feel like he's gonna need a rest at some point soon. It depends on what the hour is that I did it. It was late in the evening, was it not?
No, you went swimming. So you went shopping again when you woke up, and you went swimming while you were waiting for Gil's gloves to be to finish dyeing.
You're right.
So you've already done that.
It was early in the day. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no,
You
it was like
swimming.
midday. So you probably had this like swim and everything maybe 6 to 8 hours ago. Like, it's nowhere near being like a full day.
Might feel a little rusty tomorrow, but I think I should be good for the rest of the evening. But there's one more thing I want to check before I leave. Growl's gonna turn around and walk back to the spot where there was no smell at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Something about this spot. Something happened here, Sir Alan. I intend to find out what.
Do you walk like? Do you remember exactly where it was? This is me just saying. Does Growl remember?
He has a good lay of his surroundings. I'd say
Okay.
he would. It wasn't far away.
So you're gonna wander like as exactly as you can to. Right. Okay. So.
Would you like me to roll anything?
No, I don't think so. So, as Growl walks like to the area that he thinks like he, I guess, unsmelt this like ominous like aroma or lack of, he walks through what seems like exactly the same feeling and takes like a big breath, and it just smells completely empty of absolutely nothing.
I think I'm gonna attempt an Arcana check on the air. You know, just to have a feel to see if there's any,
okay.
magical residue.
Sure, go for it.
Give it a go. That's not happening, is it?
That's a 2. Yeah, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no chance. Okay.
Kian, you're a menace. Please feel free to share that with the class.
Yeah, we have a lot of cats going on right now.
There's a lot of cats in our private chat. So yeah, essentially you try to make out what you think that this might be, and your mind is drawn blank.
Mm-hmm. I just can't work it out, Saran. Something about this spot. Maybe this is where the murder took place.
Potentially. This could be somebody trying to cover their tracks.
Damn blackened eye. I think we've done all we can today, old friend. Time to rest.
Truly, to the inn we go.
So, are you going to be heading back to the same tavern?
The one we were at before, I think.
The Woozy Moss Tavern?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, most people are now, most of the denizens of the settlement are now indoors. It's actually fairly quiet. Like, what you can hear now, and I mean you four, what you can hear now is almost like what you can hear, your characters can hear. And it is almost devoid of, any talking. There are, a few still out and about talking, but they're much lower down, on the first floor. And yeah,
can we see any more of the wardens around?
There are wardens, but they're stationed outside more notable locations, like at doors, for example, of larger buildings. Not necessarily the smaller shops, but there is a warden outside the Woozy Moss Tavern.
Okay.
There's just one. They're kind of randomly dotted around, just looking around.
So I think we're just gonna head to the tavern, the Woozy Moss Tavern.
Okay. So as you wander back, as you are sorry, I'm trying to piece together where you currently are. As you are wandering down the districts, you can hear very faintly sobbing.
Sir Alan, do you hear that?
I do. I wonder who that is.
Strangely, it's peaceful here, but tears cut through the air. Maybe we should investigate.
It sounds familiar. I don't like it.
Nor do I, friend. Nor do I. Growl's gonna pull out a ration he hasn't eaten in a bit and wants to get some munch.
Okay.
Fresh munch.
Fresh munch. Just shove it into his maw.
Okay. So are you going to be investigating the source of the sobbing?
Growl is.
Okay, and Sir Alan is following? Cool. So you wander down, and the closer you get, you start to see this this fairly ornate structure. It has an open archway at the front. There's no door. It's kind of just it looks like it's always open, and you can hear the sobbing coming from inside.
Sir Alan, have you been in this place before? Seems to be a lack of a door here.
Not my doing, I'm afraid.
Makes a nice change, friend. Gonna wander inside. Beautiful architecture.
And you can hear this fountain trickling. It's now fairly dusky. Like, it's now, like, the light level is now dim. In the time it's taken to do all this. The light level is now dim, but you can make out an Eva sobbing on the floor next to the fountain.
Can I see who it is?
Yeah, you can. It's Ninsala.
Ninsala! What's the meaning of this?
Gil, he just disappeared.
Disappeared?
No, not disappeared. It was this like fake tree dude girl. And she, like,
Tree?
yeah, and she like told me to put Gil in the water to cleanse him because like his like black tears, I don't know, and then he disappeared. Like, poof.
This is all a lot
I
to
don't
take
know
in.
what
Start
to
at the
do.
beginning. Calm down. Start from the beginning.
No.
Girl's gonna try and like softly snap Fluffy to her senses.
Okay.
Not hit her, just reassure.
Kind of like very lightly tap her on the back.
Lightly touch. Yeah.
Very lightly tap her on the back.
Very, very lightly.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, Ninsala is clearly distraught. And you don't know why. You're hearing, you know, random gibberish coming from her of something to do with Gil disappearing, black tears, what sounds like a Sepher, who's supposedly a fake. So, Ninsala, are you going to try and clarify what you mean?
Ninsala, was it another Sepher?
Yeah, but also like not like she just disappeared, like poof.
The same
Just
as Gil?
laughed at me. No. She like disappeared into thin air. Like, are there still like remnants of her, like the tree leaves? Like,
Well, she just to clarify, she's a Cephaclora, so she's like a plant. She's like slightly smaller than you. She's not like a Cephadendra. She's particularly small, and she's more plant-like than tree-like. But her leaves and like petals that were growing on her head they basically like wilted and went like brown and crispy and crackly, like autumn leaves, and they're like scattered like across the floor, and then there's just like dust basically where she supposedly was.
Double taking at the surroundings to see if you can see it.
yeah, so I like point over like to the rest, what's left of this like witch or whatever, and like that's all that's left of her. This
Growl's gonna kneel next to the wilted leaves.
Okay.
Sir Alan, these leaves, another Dendra?
Perhaps. I'll investigate. Will I get questioned with the DM? If I do a perception check or anything to see if they're legit, will I get any kind of advantage because I know what Sepher leaves are supposed to be like?
You can do a nature check.
Sweet.
Because you are well, you're proficient in it, so that would be more recommended. But also, you are literally, like, the Sepher are literally plantkin, which means they class as a plant as well, which means you can do a nature check on a Cephaclora.
I will do that. I'm going to do a nature check and see what's going on.
Okay, so because Sir Alan is one with nature, he gets advantage, I think? Or proficiency? One of the two.
I am not sure. I'm hoping it's the first one. Therewith. Nope, it's just proficiency. Alright, that'll be a 10.
Okay. With a 10, I would say you can tell that they aren't just like a normal leaf. That's it.
Hmm.
You can't tell that it was like particularly owned by anything, like if it was like a Cephaclora or a Cephodendra or anything, but you definitely don't recognize this kind of leaf.
I'm afraid I can't tell much from these leaves, friend. They've degraded to quite a degree.
Understandable. Ninsala, what did this plant friend look like?
Like a normal Cephaclora.
A Cephaclora?
Yeah, she said she like her name was Lorelei and she was like part of this temple thing, but nobody else is here, so I don't know. And then like we put I put Gil on this bench here and he, like it just got worse. And then the Lorelei like told me to put him in the water to like cleanse him or whatever. I don't know what's going on. And he just disappeared.
Into the water?
Yeah, like the water was a portal or something. Like he just wasn't in my heads anymore.
Would Grawl know anything about the Fallen Fae? Question to DM.
Make an Arcana check,
Okay.
and this roll will determine whether or not
20.
you do. 20.
What?
Well,
Holy shit.
there you go. There's the rolls for you, chat. Graal knows exactly what happens with Fallen Fae. He knows what that means. Exactly.
Ninsala, this shouldn't be. I have known of the Fallen Fae, and they cannot do what others can.
What?
He should not have been able to return to the Fae realm through that water. This is something darker, more mysterious.
What? So how do we get her back?
Friend, I do not know. As much as I wouldn't like to, I feel like we must rest and tackle this in the morning.
So Sir Alan is going to like submerge a hand in the fountain water just to see what happens, see if it's weird in any way.
Nothing happens. It's just water.
Sweet. Cool. Yes, I think we should rest. Sad as it is that we've lost Gil, we should look for my old friend in the morning when we're all rested.
I'm gonna try and pick up some of the residue from the Cephaclora.
From the Cephaclora, okay. Sure.
I have something to hold it. Can I put that in one of my herbalism vials? Would it fit some of the residue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to know more about this Cephaclora or whatever they were. I feel like maybe taking some of this residue may lead to answers in the future if we're lucky.
I guess maybe.
Okay, that's sorted.
Okay, you got that noted down?
Yeah.
So, what are your plans now? What are you going to be? Are you going to be heading back as you know, the three of you back to the tavern?
Grawl is. I feel like that's the only tavern that he knows of. So
Yeah, you haven't seen any others. There are others, but you haven't seen any others. It's the one you know where it is.
I feel like we should, in the absence of Gil, definitely stick together, and I will be staying close to keep watch over the remaining two that I haven't lost.
Also,
Fluffy, I know this is hard to bear, but we must rest.
I'll just say now, chat can't see it, but for you lot, how dark it is for Cap right now, that's currently the light level.
Oh, really, really dark.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's now like getting on. So yeah. So are you wanting to all head back now?
Before I do, I feel this may be a loose end and nothing of note, but maybe also I should get some of the water from the altar.
What, in a vial?
Any answers? Yeah, any answers that we can find may come from both of these things.
Sure, yeah, go for it. Okay,
Worth
bottle
a shot.
some fountain water.
Glad I got the vials now. Okay, noted.
Okay, so and you're gonna head back now to the tavern, to Woozy Moss.
Is Ninsala coming too?
Yeah.
I mean, that's completely up to you, Ikuni. Like, you can go with them, or you can choose to stay. It's up to you.
Like, I mean, I can't. Gil isn't gonna come back if I stay here and cry. So.
Understandable, friend. He was all of our friend. We will investigate this.
Okay, so it's getting pretty dark now, and you three start to head back. You can hear it's there's still like mumbling from the inside of the tavern, and who's gonna lead into the tavern?
Not it.
I am going to stand outside the tavern because I can't fit in the door. I will keep watch and
Good shout.
stand over the doorway.
So
I'm going to
that's-
stand behind Ninsala, and
Okay.
Keenla's probably behind me.
Yeah. So, and because he was instructed to loosen up a bit, Kinla didn't enter the temple with you. He was basically outside because he knows the temple. He knows there's no way out other than there. So he basically just stood outside. He didn't actually walk inside. He didn't see what's happening. He doesn't know what's happened.
Before I go through the door, Keenla, something has been racking my mind. The Sepha Chlora, according to Ninsala, who worked in the temple. Do you know of Lorelei?
Lorelei? Who's Lorelei?
According to my friend Ninsala, she was a Sepha Chlora who worked in the temple and disappeared into leaves and foliage while laughing.
Friend, no one runs the temple. It's communal.
This is another bad omen. He's just gonna turn back and enter the inn without a word.
Okay. So you open up. There's less people in here now. Mostly because there were so many people in before. Wardens were called to escort a lot of the people inside to like different houses, or to like their homes, or to like a different tavern, because it was just so overcrowded. So there are significantly less people in there, but it's still not busy, but there's definitely a lot of people in there. And as you walk in, Ulanas notices the both of you. First notices Graal, and then notices Ninsala, and quickly says, Ninsala, glad to see you again. Where's your friend?
He's gone.
Did you take him somewhere to get some help?
Yeah, but it didn't work. I was tricked by a fake Sepha Chlora, and
A fake?
now he is. Yeah.
What do you mean a fake?
I don't know. They both just disappeared separately.
What do you mean? Did they take him?
No. I tried to cleanse Gil in the fountain at the temple, but he disappeared apparently into the Fey realm or something. I don't know.
Well,
It shouldn't be Ninsala.
And
what do you mean? I thought all the Fae can do that.
No, but he was apparently a fallen Fey, and
Oh, I
yeah.
guess that explains the strange-looking eyes. I guess. But do you know? What do you mean he's gone?
But I don't know where he went. He was still unconscious when this happened, so I don't know. He just disappeared.
Well, this is slightly worrying. I'm sure a lot more so for you, but I'm sorry. This is completely out of my league. There's nothing really I can do. I'm just a simple tavern owner.
Yeah,
Do-
I'm sorry.
do you need a room?
No. If you have one, that would be nice.
I believe we do. It might be a squeeze. May only have the one room left, but let me go quickly check. And he rushes quickly upstairs in like a worried fashion and checks on the rooms. Checking to see if they're occupied or not. And he says, "Yes, you're just in luck. There is one room left. I'm sorry, it's not very luxurious, but if you don't mind sharing space with your large friend, I'm sure you can share the room."
Growl will put one hand on Ninsala's back. Unless you want me to be there with you, Ninsala, you can have this space to yourself.
No.
Would you like me to stay?
Yes.
Okay. I shall come with you. I'm going to look over at the barkeep again. One question, good sir.
And
Did anybody...
when you say that, he goes, "Yes."
Did anybody work in the temple?
Work? Dude, the
Oversee?
the Green Root Temple?
Yes, the Green Root Temple.
Nobody works in the Green Root Temple, my friend. It's communal.
This is not good.
What do you mean?
Apparently, there was a Cephaclora, Lorelei, in the Green Root Temple when our friend disappeared. And they disappeared into nothing. I took a sample of what was left, but I don't understand what is happening here.
He says, can I see the sample?
Yes, sir. Growl pulls it out of his bag and places it. I'll just hand it to them.
Okay. And he'll kind of carefully, not to because he's scared of hurting himself, poking one of your many spikes on your claw-like appendage. And he kind of grabs it and looks at it in the light and shakes it. Says, Nope, sorry, got nothing.
Worth a try. Worth a try. Thank you very much for checking. And watch out for the spike when you're giving it back. That one's sharp.
Yes, I assumed. The room is yours. It's a mere 100 era.
Okay. I'll very slowly hand him the 100 era.
And he kind of
Ninsala,
trickles it into his pouch.
I'm gonna have to owe you. I'm running a little low after I bought the shield.
Oh, that's fine. I just
you,
want
Fluffy.
to sleep.
So, are you going to head up to bed?
Yeah.
Or at least up to the room?
Gonna pop my head out of the door of the tavern. Sir Alan, we're staying here for the night. Can you keep watch?
Of course, friend. Rest well.
Thank you very much. I'd say you too, but no, rest well anyway.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna go upstairs to find
So
Ninsala?
so as you wandered across to the door and said that and then came back, all of the the inhabitants of the tavern were kind of like hoping that you would leave and then kind of shy back away in like to the corners, like when you turn back around and realize you weren't actually leaving. And they're kind of like,
I'm gonna talk to the crowd. Don't be scared. I've had a long day, and I have no energy to scare you people.
and like as you talk, they weren't expecting you to talk to like them. Like they feel like they've been noticed, so they immediately go. You can kind of hear like a slight rustle of chairs as you do that.
Grawl shakes his head. Always the same.
First, let's go to the room.
Yes.
So you're gonna head up.
Yeah. And then Sarah's dragging her feet over the floor. She's not like really walking. She's very sad.
Kian,
I'm gonna pick up Ninsala. I'm not gonna pick up Ninsala.
Yes.
I need you to roll the d20 for me.
Oh, good. A 2.
A 2. Okay.
Yeah. Is it like, what is it for? Do I have a modifier for it, or like?
No.
Just a straight d20.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, there's another 2. So far, we've had a 2, a 3, and a 2.
And a 20.
Oh no, I just meant for Kian's rolls. So Gil, going to track C.
Mhm.
New track acquired. Can't wait to play the seaside. Yeah, Gil feels like he's floating. And he's back in this box again. And the tendrils are still there. All of these tendrils that were like cracking into this like supposed invisible box. The best way I could describe it was like it's glass, which he can see, but like if anyone else was there, they wouldn't be able to see it. It would be like he was miming, but like literally like if he pressed his hand against it, you'd see like it kind of like squishing up against this barrier, whatever it is. And these tentacles have kind of like retracted from the like trying to crack through and are now bashing on this wall like heavily, and it almost feels like you could compare it to like Gil being in like a womb, where like the box is like the womb and he's kind of like in like the fluid, and he feels like he's underwater, and these things are like bashing really hard and starting to crack the sides of the of this box. And the more they like crack more and more, the only thing Gil can hear is and I need you to roll 1d10.
Okay. Ten.
Gil takes 10 points of psychic damage.
Oh! God! Oh, okay, hold on. Let me mark that down. Oh, good. It's fine.
It's fine. Really, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
So, while that's happening, the night passes fairly uneventfully. I don't know why I'm getting notifications about you sending stuff when I'm literally looking at it. So yeah, the night passes uneventfully. You wake up. It was about, let's say, 9 or 10 p.m. So you wake up. I would say you got like a good 10 hours sleep. And yeah, let's say it was about 10 p.m. So you wake up at about, let's say, you wake up about 8 a.m. Just like the crack of dawn.
Grawl wakes up with a tentacle in his mouth. One of his, I should mention.
So yeah.
Grawl rolls over. Not rolls over onto Ninsala. Grawl
rolls over and Ninsala, you take 20d20 bludgeoning damage and are dead. Anyway.
Are you awake?
No, I don't want to. Then
How did
Ninsala
you
curls up more and like puts a blanket over her head.
No, the sun is up. It is time to wake, friend. Long day.
No, I
Girl.
don't know.
Grawl stands and picks Fluffy out of the bed.
No. Please tell me that was just a bad dream. Please tell me Gil is still outside.
Friend,
Yes, he was Alan? No?
Sir Alan is here, but Gil is indeed gone.
No.
We have a long day and much investigation to do.
Fine.
I'll put down Ninsala on the floor.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. One thing us Kragnor are good at is being freakishly strong.
So, are you gonna head out to the main, like, bar area now?
Gral's gonna
Yeah.
walk down the stairs towards the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, Ninsala's just gonna go like very slowly with her like feet scruffing over the floor. Like walk
So-
after.
So as you go downstairs, you do say you see Ulanas kind of like sat down on like a stool, like kind of just like minding his own business. There's not really much business very early in the morning. He's awake. There are only 2 people in the bar area. One person who just passed out drunk. Still out cold, kind of just like perched up with a drink in hand, like just kind of drooling on the table, and another one who woke up fairly early for breakfast. And Ulanas notices you and says, "Good morning. How are you both? Slept well, I hope."
Morning, good sir. Little too deep sleep.
Ninsala's just staring at the floor.
And he'll kind of like look at Ninsala and say, "Oh, poor girl. I'm sorry about your friend, dear. I did try to help. I don't know how much that was worth, but I apologize what has happened to him. And if I do hear anything, I will be sure to let the wardens know."
What Ninsala needs is a good breakfast.
I'm not really hungry.
Oh, of course you are.
No.
I hear stories of the voracious appetite of the Ever.
Are you sure that's not just stories of your own people?
He's bluffing. Well, more for me then, I guess. What do you make, good sir? No fish, right?
No, but we did just get a load of stone-baked bread. If you're
Bread.
in the mood for some bread.
Bread, I would love some water too. Can you fill up my skin?
Of course. How much does just the skin, or do you want something for now as well?
Depends on how much it is, to be honest.
I don't really know how much you need, good sir.
I have a few... I have a few Erela left to my name.
Well, don't worry. Water's fairly cheap. It was more the quantity that you desire. Oh, aquatic friend of mine.
Fill my skin, and I would like a cup of water too. Just give me a few loaves of bread. I'm pretty hungry.
Certainly, that'll be 50 era altogether.
Take an Erela.
But thank you. And he kind of like tries to stifle his like surprise as to you're so generous compared to what he was expecting.
I tend to like to tip people, but honestly, this is a necessity. I have no error.
Well, I don't mind exchanging if you would rather.
No mind.
Thank you.
My pleasure, good
He
sir.
kind of like pops that in his pouch, and he's like, "I'll bring it out right away. Do you want a table or just sit at the bar?"
Depends on if these stools can carry my weight. I assume there are stools.
Yeah, there are. He'll look around and just bluntly say, "No. I would prefer
I can
it
sit
if
on
you
the
stood."
floor if you'd prefer.
Yeah, you'd probably like it's probably tall enough so like if you sat down you'd probably still be able to like fairly comfortably eat. Kind of like I can't remember what it's called. Like Japanese tables when you like sit down.
Oh, it's katsu? No, something like that. I don't remember.
Kotatsu.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of like that. It'd be kind of like that height. It'd be like very reasonable for you to sit down and eat like that.
I'm gonna take my sit. That's not a problem. And look over at Ninsala. Are you sure you don't want any food?
I guess maybe a bread or so.
Absolutely acceptable. I know how you ever eat, so that's why I got extra.
Yeah, that was enough for 3 like buns, I'd say, kind of thing. They're like fairly large buns or rolls of bread, and to fill up the water skin. And he gave you like a glass of water, and he gave like another one for Ninsala just because he felt sorry for her.
Oh, thank you very much, good sir. A question, if you don't mind. The smell of this bread. Wonderful. Have you been giving any orders to the High Warden recently?
Why, yes. Why do you ask?
I've been waiting since yesterday for this bread.
It's fairly well renowned. The Wuzumoss rolls.
Might need to take some more with me when we eventually leave. If we eventually leave.
I'll happily accept your future business.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna absolutely chow down.
Okay, so what's Sir Alan doing?
Currently, still keeping watch very patiently.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on the town, comings and goings, see if anything happens.
So have you let him know that you're awake yet, or are you going to be like finishing up and then going out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside afterwards.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, I was disconnected from that. We were disconnected from it. I'm going to quickly boop that.
Wow.
Wow, TTS. How very
Ooh.
dare you?
Interesting. TTS. TTS is gone. Crab emoji. Quickly
Don't
reload that.
appropriate my people. Oh, yeah, it's Steam. You're muted, Ken.
Whoops. I was saying, oh, it's Steam, because I was disconnected from Steam.
Yeah, okay. Steam's having
Same
issues.
Well, Mind's Eye Theater?
We could Mind's Eye Theater.
Until we need to roll, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine for now. We don't need to worry.
I thought it had come back, but apparently not.
Well, regardless, it doesn't matter until we
Yeah.
do roll. Anyway, apologies for the brief interruption. So, so you're gonna scoff down your bread and your fresh spring water, and what are your plans next?
Gral's gonna stand up and look over at Ninsala. It's gonna be a long day of investigation. Are you done?
Then Sala didn't really eat. She just like sat there like hunched over the table. One like rested her head on one hand and like more like played with the food and like poked it.
I'm gonna pat her on the
Maybe
head.
she ate like a quarter of the loaf, maybe.
And take it with you if you'd like. I'm sure the barkeep won't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
doesn't
continue
particularly
to
mind.
pat
Like
on
people,
that.
like he gives out like baskets of these rolls and stuff, especially to the wardens. So if you just want to like buy rolls, he'll let you take it. He doesn't particularly care.
I'm gonna go outside and speak to Sir Alan. Feel free to come with me if you would like.
Sure.
And so as you like get up and kind of like stomp across like the tavern, you notice the guy who was kind of like passed out kind of like wakes up, and he's like next to the door, and or like he's on like the table closest to the door, and he kind of like slowly comes around and notices you. Like, it looks like you're walking like towards him, but it's just he doesn't realize that the door's like next to him, and he sees you, and like his eyes kind of focus in, and it like makes him jump so much he like falls backwards off his chair, and he smacks his head on the floor and knocks himself out.
Ooh. Ugh. That one looked nasty. Ninsala, can you get the barkeep? I feel like this one may have an issue.
Okay. And then
I'm
Sala
gonna
walks
pick the guy up.
still very slowly to the barkeep and it's like, excuse me.
Ulanath, like he looked over when this happened, and he looks over and he goes, "Oh, just drop the idiot on the floor. He's been like that all night."
Graal does exactly as he says.
What? Just
I dropped it.
immediately drops him on the floor.
Yes.
Okay, and he's like, and he just goes, he rolls his eyes and then like sits back down, as he's like, you know, standard barkeep things like wiping off like the glass kind of thing. Yeah.
I'll drop
so-
him and turn my tail.
Yeah. The other guy, he was there last night. You at least note it, or you realize who he is, or you don't know the person. You just recognize the face from last night, and he looks over and then he just like nods and then looks back and just carries on eating. So you're gonna head out of the tavern?
Yeah, I am. Graal
Okay.
is.
So what are you gonna be chatting about then?
Graal opens the door and looks over to where Sir Alan was before. Is he still there?
Is he?
he may have been patrolling. Like, how far around the tavern? Like, is it in the middle with the walkway around it, or does the walkway just go along the front?
The walkway goes like all the way around it. It's kind of like so it branches out. Branches. It branches out like fairly far from the trunk, and then there's like the walkway around. Like, these walkways are fairly big. And these trees are very, very thick. They're very thick trees, very, very strong trees to support like all this weight. But they're like massive. They're like redwoods. They just don't look like redwoods.
I'm gonna go outside and look for Sir Ellen.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I have wandered slightly around the corner, but not so far as to not be able to see the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I spot Sir Ellen. Alan, my friend. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was the evening?
All quiet.
Quiet
Is that how we
or
like it?
quiet?
Slightly too quiet, but rather that than more bad omens.
Very,
I
very
think we've had
acceptable.
just enough bad omens for the week.
Just wanted to make sure that the lack of smell wasn't a lack of noise as well. Graal looks over at Ninsala. Ninsala doesn't seem to have much of an appetite today.
Unsurprising.
Yes.
What's the plan?
Honestly,
Do we have any leads? Did anyone in the inn have any information?
doesn't seem that way. I think maybe our best course of action... I'm kind of drawing a blank on this front. Maybe we should go visit the wardens again.
Potentially. They didn't seem to cooperate particularly before. They seem to want to handle things themselves. But I'm
Yes.
also at a loss for how we can proceed.
I...
Do you have any connections who might know more of the Fae?
I'm not sure if there's anybody who would know of the Fallen Fae around here. No DM, would there be? Would I know?
Sorry, what are you asking exactly?
Would there be anyone that I know of in this area that would know anything with the Fallen Fae?
As in any specific person, or like a type of person?
Maybe a type of person.
I mean, there are like, you could go to the third level. I don't remember exactly what the third level is called.
That was
It is the
residential.
Aspirants District. That is basically where you go to learn. So it's where the College of Tyrasia is, the Greenroot Temple, the Thistle Branch Library. Places of learning are on the third floor. So basically, they're the more learned, scholarly type. So if anything, you may want to check there.
We
Seems
could
like
go-
the gods weren't much help last time.
We could try for the library, see if they have anything written about this fountain. It is in their temple, after all.
Very good point, good sir. The fact that someone was in the Greenroot Temple who was not meant to be there worries me. Everybody I've spoken to seems to not know anything to do with this, the Sepher that was in there, Lorelei. Maybe we'll find more information upwards. Graal points up, and shudders at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so are the three of you? I mean, has Ninsala come outside yet?
Yeah, she's like leaning next to the door,
Mm-hmm.
so, like more looking out on the floor, not really listening to what the others say.
So are the three of you going to be heading up to the third floor then, the Aspirants District?
Before I do, I'm gonna kneel in front of Ninsala. Ninsala, I know you're very upset, distraught even, but we need you. We need you to help find Gil.
But how? He's just gone.
I don't know either, but
Like, if he went back to the Fey realm, none of us is a fae. We can't go there.
But as I mentioned before, it shouldn't be. He cannot be in the Fey realm. There must be someone who knows more about this. And in an Evan settlement, the one who would know the most is you, Ninsala.
But I don't know.
Please, put on a brave face. We will find him.
I try.
I pat her on the head. Again. Lightly. And stand up. I try and, like, shoot Ninsala the nicest smile I can possibly muster. Which is probably scary.
I would say, like, when you try to smile, it basically, the best you can do is sinister. Like, because of, like, the general, like, structure of your face, when you, like, smirk, it kind of just looks like you're smirking with, like, bad intent.
That's the best I can do, and I don't know that it looks scary. So I'll do it anyway. I try and
1d6
smile.
pat damage. Fantastic. Just on a meta level, for anyone wondering, the Steam servers are currently down, so there is no TTS. When it comes back, we'll all connect again. But yeah, currently Steam servers are like down, so we can't reconnect.
Yeah.
Right. Okay
I was
then.
gonna turn around and walk
To
back
the
to
library.
To the library.
Ah, the place of knowledge. Good idea, sir. Alan.
That
Okay,
is my
so
name.
Oh, where's Keenlaw?
he will have like he would have essentially like stayed watch outside the.
So he spotted me already.
Yeah, he already knows like you're there. He essentially just like stayed outside and like waited, and he took over from the warden who was there. He says, "I'm watching over that one," kind of like, you know, the one. I don't need to say which one. He's like, I'm watching over this one as of the High Warden's orders. I've got this, and he kind of took over the post, and he's just been not waiting there, but well, he was waiting there, but he has like slept. But yeah, he's already noticed you, and he's kind of like still shadowing you.
Keenlaw! We're going to the library!
And he kind of like looks like he was already looking your way, and he kind of just goes, "Carry on."
Thank you! Grol's gonna start walking to the upper level, the aspirants district, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Kian.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey.
I need you to roll a d20 for me.
Okay.
Can you?
Real
Are you
dice.
able? Are you able to pick up your cam so I can see what you roll? If it's difficult, no
Yeah.
worries.
It's kind of on the top of my
It's fine.
monitor.
No worries. I will trust you.
Okay.
Roll d20.
It's this dice. This
Okay.
is the dice that's going to save me.
We'll see.
16!
It's better than a 2, a 3, and a 2.
It is better.
So, okay. So, basically, we're going back to side C again. We're going back to, yeah, how does it work with the tape? Who knows? No, it actually, you flip it, and then you flip it again. And you go to the third side. Anyway, so yeah, we go back to Gil, and Gil is like, he has like these like black tears now like flowing down his face, with these tentacle like things have been smashing on this like box that he is in, this supposed like glass box, for hours. It has been ceaseless, constantly smashing. You can see cracking and cracking, more and more appear, and they haven't been able to get in yet. And suddenly, Gil's mind goes completely blank. Like, all of this, like, darkness surrounding him, and then suddenly, he closes his eyes, and it just fades to white. And as it's fading to white, Gil hears and Gil's throat feels like he's being strangled, like in like a vice grip, like literally being like choked. And as his white as like the white like fades in from darkness, Gil is thrust out of this like supposed glass box, and all he sees and everyone else sees is Gil is thrown at high speed out of the pond at the base of the tree. And as he is thrown up, like completely against his will, he has no control of his body currently. He's thrown out and looks around and sees daylight. As he hits the floor, not very hard, but it wasn't a very graceful fall, he just feels like he's just been choked really, really hard and is struggling to breathe. But Gil is currently at the base of the tree that the three of you are under. However, Gil is trying to speak. There are like many people around who have kind of like gathered around due to what the hell just happened. This like little Fae just thrown out of the water, and it's like, it's not like a really, really deep pond, but it's definitely like a, shouldn't we have seen him? And it's almost as if he comes from the surface, bursts out, water sprays everywhere, soaks a bunch of people, lands on the floor, and as people are saying like, are you okay? All Gil can do is and that's it. If he feels like he's just been choked.
I'd say he's like kind of like grabbing at his throat a little bit too, like making sure nothing is actually there impeding his breath.
Yeah. And upon closer inspection, a couple Eva who are walking past are kind of like trying to like baby you almost. Not in like not like treating you like a child, but just trying to like check you on over like really quickly to see like what has happened. And they look over at you and they can see, even though you have like fairly, you know, like purpley dusky blue skin anyway, they can see a hand mark on your throat as if it left a mark. And it's like it's roughly the same color as you, but it's like darker. It's like noticeable that there's like a hand mark that's been on your throat. And they're basically saying like, did someone do something to you? Are you okay?
He keeps he keeps coughing as he like tries to swat their hands away. He's got one hand kind kind of like on his throat, and then the other one is like swatting away the Erva that are trying to help him.
And they kind of like step back, and they kind of realize they're being like a bother to you. They don't want to like, you know, do anything else, and they're like, do you want us to get some help?
I want to try to say, like, ask them to help me to stand, but I have no clue. Where is my quarterstaff?
Where is it? It landed near you.
Okay.
Essentially,
use
your belongings were on you the whole time. And it was kind of like all as one, like thrown out of the water. It's just like your quarterstaff like landed nearby.
Is it within arm's reach?
It's not within arm's reach, but you can see it. It's like, I'd say it landed like 10 feet away.
Okay, so while coughing, he's gonna sort of like point over to his quarterstaff. And obviously he's trying to say, bring that to me, but obviously doesn't come out.
So one of them like kind of is like they're like looking at you, and they're like trying to see what you're pointing at, like, and okay, and they pick it up and like gently hand it to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to use it to stand up.
Okay.
Sort of brace me.
Roll for athletics.
What? Athletics?
Yeah.
Okay. Which I'm not proficient in, so I don't get a bonus. Does my proficiency modifier go into that? Or no, because I'm not.
Well, no, because you're not proficient, so no.
Yeah.
Yeah, only if you're proficient.
16.
16. Okay, you are able to struggle, but you do manage to prop yourself up, and you're now like at least stood up. You have to like lean against it, but you can definitely stand without help of another person.
Next I'm gonna try and flex my wings out because they've been crushed in this tiny little box.
Okay.
They're obviously wet, but I just want to like flex them out, kind of like an insect does after they've been wet, to sort of like dry them out, almost like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
Yeah. Okay. So Gil kind of like as he's holding onto this quarterstaff, he's kind of like using his muscles to kind of like stretch out his little like insect wings, and they kind of like flutter out, and they're kind of like twitching. Kind of like an insect that's been hurt. They kind of like involuntary like twitch. He is able to move them like by himself, but they're like involuntary like twitching, and he can kind of feel that they're twitching. So what do you want? You're muted, by the way. If you were talking to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were talking to someone who just came down the stairs or not. That's why.
Oh no.
I didn't say anything to start with.
Okay. I'm just gonna try and stand up the rest of the way and kind of gain my balance from my quarterstaff, but try and like confirm for myself that I'm okay. I can stand.
Yeah, you can like. The sensation of like this grab on your throat feels like it doesn't just feel like it hurts from someone doing it. It feels like there's a hand there. Like it feels like no one else can see this, but it feels like someone is still holding your throat, not crushing it, but your throat's already been squeezed to the point where like it really, really hurts to talk and to say anything coherently, but it's not still like crushing down on you. It just feels like the hand is still there. Like that's what it feels like to you. Like there's still like a hand there.
Okay. Next, I'd like to look around my surroundings.
Okay.
Can I see past the erva that are around me?
Yeah, you're in a fairly open space. The pond kind of like encircles like this tree.
Okay.
What in particular is it that you're looking for? Or are you just trying to see the party?
Yeah. Now that I've sort of stood up and gained my composure, sort of again.
Roll for perception.
The first thing.
See if you can see them.
That's 17 plus something, right?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. 17 plus 7, so
24.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see like this happened as the three of you were wandering across to like another tree, and you can see you're just going up one of the ramps to the third district, the aspirants district. Gil can see the three of you walking up.
Shit. I try to call out to them.
All that comes out is
yeah. I'm gonna look back at the erva that gave me my staff and point up to them.
And he's just gonna be like, what is it? What are you pointing at?
I'm gonna sort of like pantomime, right? So he puts his arms up, kind of like a tree.
Okay.
And he points up to Sir Alan, and then he does the tree thing again, and then he points up again, and then he like rolls his eyes, and then he as he sees Ninsala, puts his hands on the tips of his ears and kind of wiggles his fingers around like they're fur, and then he points up to Ninsala really, really urgently. And then he looks at Grawl, and then he looks back at the erva and does this with his hands, almost like they're little tentacles in front of his face. And then he points up to Grawl.
Okay, roll for performance with advantage.
Ah, yes, with advantage. Nice. Okay, so I'll roll 2. Oh, nat 20.
Well, yeah, can't get better than that. Yeah, so they're like the octopus, squid, and they're kind of looking around and they're like, Kragnova? Kragnova? Did you something about and the dendra and then a cat?
One final time he points up to them, and then he points down at the ground.
and he says, you want to talk to? Well, I guess you can't. You want to be with? You want to follow them?
Yeah, and yeah, he goes. Yes.
Okay then. Can you walk? Do you want to be carried?
Okay, so he points at that erva, and then cups his mouth like to call out.
Okay.
And then points at them again.
you want me to shout to them? But I don't know their names.
Really quickly.
I don't know their names, friend. What do I say?
He does the tree.
I'm sorry, friend. There are plenty of dendras around. I don't know whether they'll turn around.
He goes like this.
Okay.
He does like little crab hands.
Okay. That'll work. Kragnova, you there?
Do I hear?
Roll for perception.
Anyone gonna
did you
dice?
hear? You can actually. In this case, do you want me to roll for you?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't have one.
Okay. Just because I'm still in the game, because you don't have to be connected to servers to actually do this. So I'm gonna roll. And I will turn this on so that people can see. Fucking nat 20.
Okay.
Okay then, that's fine. So that's back-to-back nat 20s. Yeah, you immediately turn round and see exactly the Ever that is calling to you, and you immediately see Gil on the floor next to him.
Gil? Gil!
What? What? Where?
Fluffy, down there! Next to the Ever!
Oh my god! Gil! I just wanna... Wait, how high am I? Are we already on the 3rd floor?
By now you're on the 3rd floor, but you're near enough the edge where you could see. Or rather, like, you definitely heard it, and, like, for Graal, having someone shout out Kragnova, he's basically the only one here, so, like, you can't really get that wrong. So he, like, wanders up to the edge and sees, like, exactly where the sound came from, and notices a tiny figure which could only be Gil to him.
I'm not jumping off.
Then Sala gets very excited and just jumps down.
Okay, roll for acrobatics. How about how are you gonna do? Are you just jumping like straight down and landing on your feet, trying to go into a roll? What are you trying to do? Or are you going superhero landing like Cap said?
She's gonna do it.
How far is it?
You are on. Let me just work this out. You're 30 feet off the ground.
30 feet off the ground. How far away distance is it?
Well, I'm
Or we
assuming
might do it.
Ninsala's just jumping like off down to the floor.
Yeah.
But you're like a good like 80 feet away, like horizontally. But I'm assuming she's not gonna try and
I'm
jump
just jumping straight
there. You're just
down.
jumping down.
Oh, because if it was a little closer, I was going to try and just yeet the whole way, but I don't think we can do that.
No, I don't think you can jump that far.
While Ninsala's jumping, I'm gonna run downwards as fast as I can, physically, and grab Keenlaw on the way.
Okay.
So I rolled an 8, but I get +5, so that's 13.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to follow Ninsala. I'm jumping down.
Oh god.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
That's my little fade bud right there. I need to get there as soon as possible. I'm jumping off.
Okay. You roll for acrobatics as well.
Do I
So-
roll athletics?
No, I'd say based on like how effortless it is for you to pick up like a two-handed weapon in one hand, I'd say it's fairly fucking easy for you to just like grab, like steal Kinla like on the way past, and he'll just be like, Mike, like kind of like the wind was like knocked out of his lungs, like as he you like grabbed him.
No time to talk! It's Gil!
That is an 11 on my acrobatics.
Okay, so can what is it that you rolled, Hakuni? 13.
13, yeah.
Okay. Can you both roll Ninsala, can you roll 2d6? And Sir Alan, can you roll 3d6?
10. Fuck.
Oh,
I rolled a 6 and a 4.
that is 9 total.
Okay. You each take that much bludgeoning damage.
Not
Worth
too,
it.
Not too bad.
So like as Ninsala like lands, she kind of like tries to land like gracefully and kind of like plummets her knee into the ground, really like badly hurting her knee, and then kind of just like immediately gets back up in like out of desperation and like kind of like limp rushes to where Gil is, and
Sir
Definitely.
Alan went to land both-footed rather than superhero landing to just sort of thump.
okay.
Just watch
And
the
as
landing.
that happens, like you feel like the ground quake as like Sir Alan like lands. You just hear like a, and you hear like snapping of like wood as he
And
lands.
then everyone hears gnawing and like yearning weird tree vibration noises as he starts to thumping run towards Gil.
Oh my god. So Ninsala like falls down, like botches her landing, but she like struggles herself up and like runs over to Gil, slides down on her knees and just like grabs and hugs him real hard. Oh my god,
Gil
Gil!
winces. And he like starts like struggling a little bit to try and like move her arm or her hand like anywhere away from his throat.
Mhm.
But I would say eventually like settles into her arms.
Yeah.
When he has settled, Sir Alan is going to reach in and like scoop him up, Simba style, into the air.
Nanenya.
Small friend, we found you. We have you back. Where have you been?
Gil kind of like he rolls his eyes for a second and then he like points to his throat and then kind of like moves his hands back and forth like a no gesture.
It seems that you have a lot that you would want to tell us but can't. And then he like grabs him very softly and just puts him in the beard hammock.
Aww.
You two so much.
No, just put him in there. And he's had too rough a day. The outside world can leave him alone now. In the beard hammock you go.
Fantastic.
With that, I'd like to short rest in there.
Okay, sure. Also, yeah. Just to clarify, so the three of you, so obviously not Gil. The three of you had a long rest, so you recovered like everything back. Gil did not have a long rest. Gil has not slept. He's literally been awake for this entire time. Like as quote awake as he possibly could be, like kind of like forcefully staying awake in a sense, in a state of unconsciousness, but he has not had any form of rest until now. So he's been awake for a long time. But yeah, you can have a short rest
Okay.
if you want.
I would like to wild shape into a cat and then long rest.
Sure, okay.
I sort of like I curl up in the hammock. So this cat is a sphinx cat,
Mm-hmm.
like the naked ones.
Nice.
And if you look at him, you can see that his tattoos have transferred over
Mhm.
to that form.
Also, as you do that, the darker handprint remains on your throat,
Okay.
almost like it was
I-
stained.
I think I'll. God, I'm missing a lot. I'm very tired.
Also, like, if you try to make like any like cat-like sounds, like if you try and like chirp or meow, it basically sounds like, you know, when cats do the like when they're like chattering kind of thing.
Yeah.
It basically sounds like that. Like you can't get like a meow out. It's just
Can I
like
purr?
chattering, if anything. Also, yeah, you find it very difficult to purr.
Okay.
Honk.
No, he said cat, not goose.
I think I'll actually take a long rest here.
Okay, sure.
I assume Growl's still running.
Yeah, you haven't got that yet.
Okay.
Like, they really did take the short route. It was very short and painful, but it was the short route.
I ain't risking that shit.
Very
One,
painful is subjective.
that could kill Growl or other people, and two, I'm scared of heights.
And Sarah, just so I'm gonna send you the link for Cat,
Sure.
so you
Yep.
know.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Cool. So, about, like, I'd say 2 whole minutes, like, yeah, I'd say 2 minutes, at least, passes, before you hear, like, the thundering stampede of a single Kragnova, running, hurtling towards you, and basically everyone's getting out of the way, including the wardens. They're definitely, like, on guard, but, they're definitely getting out of the way.
On the last ramp, I want to put down Quinoa as I'm still running, do a forward roll down the last ramp, and hurtle myself with as much momentum as I can.
Go for it. Go for acrobatics.
I don't have a dice.
Do you want me to roll for you again, then?
Yeah, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this is for your acrobatics roll. 11. Okay, basically, you try to look... so are you doing this from, like, the top of the ramp?
As I'm running down the ramp, I want to give myself some momentum by rolling into it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So... Right. So you jump up and try to do a roll, and as you do it, you kind of, like, stumble over, like, one of your legs, and trip down the rest of the ramp, and faceplant into the soil at the bottom.
I'm gonna be honest, I expected an athletics check.
Not if you're gonna do, like, if you're like
I did a
jumping.
roll.
Yeah, if you're
Right.
jumping and doing, like, a roll, that's definitely acrobatics. That's not athletics. Athletics is, like,
Shit.
strength.
Just for chat, I have a +7 in athletics. Fuck all for acrobatics.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for picking the wrong one.
For all
Anyway.
damage.
So yeah, you faceplant in it. You don't suffer any damage other than very muddy pride. And as you
Growl's
kind
gonna-
of, like, push yourself off the ground and wipe your face off, Kinla, who's now managed to, like, get a balance, walks over to you and smacks you on the back of the head and just says, "Don't you dare do that again, or I'll personally cut your head off."
Fully acceptable. Ow. Okay. I'm gonna crawl myself up onto my feet. Kinla, that one was my bad. Never doing that again. I'm gonna continue running.
And Kinla kind of, like, opens his mouth to carry on talking, and then sees you running off and just goes... and then, like, gets, like, a hold on to his, like, spear again and just starts, like, wandering after you. And that's where we're going to take our break. So, yeah. We will see you guys in just over 5 minutes. I'm going to go grab a coffee. Get up, have a stretch, and we'll see you in just over 5 minutes.
Yep.
Bye.
Hey everyone, we're back. So, where do we leave off?
Me being a fool.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Catnap times. Also, Sarah, DM question really quick. Would Gil have understood what you said while he was in the box still?
I can clarify it for you.
Because I as Kian, did not understand.
Okay, I will... Well, it was supposed to be very difficult to hear. However, I would say... I'd say Gil did hear it, because it was meant for... It was meant for his mind. Like, not his ears. Like, he could hear it internally. So I will send you personally what he... what this voice said.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily matter too much for the audience. It was mostly for effect. However, there was a message. Whether you heard it or not, that's up to you as people. But the character Gil understood it. So Gralcrother arrives at the scene of reunity.
Gil? Where did Gil go?
He's resting now.
Where?
Well, the zero spot.
I'm just gonna sort of gesture hands up to the foliage, and then just mime shushing.
Can I see the cat?
Where is Kitty Gil?
In the beard hammock.
So are you like are you noticeable from like
I'd say it's
outside
behind like a thin veil of foliage.
Okay, so you would be able to like make out a silhouette of Gil at least, or is it like still you can't really see through?
I'd say like if you looked hard enough, you could probably see like a faint silhouette. Yeah. Maybe like a couple little gestures of a figure in between
okay.
the foliage. Yeah.
Grawl will knowingly nod, Sir Alan. Understood.
Supposedly Steam is back.
Oh.
However, when it came back, TTS crashed.
Wow.
Technical
Yeah,
errors,
back up on
the
me.
chapter. I will reload it. Whether or not it dies immediately, I don't know, but feel free to try and join again. So what are your plans now?
Just a sec, I have to put the password back in.
Yeah, no rush for that because we're not using that yet.
Sarah, feel free to let me know when my long rest is up because obviously I can't talk until then.
Yeah. So it's like 8. So it'd be like 4.
8 hours, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like 4 p.m. Be like later afternoon is when you'd be waking up.
Okay. Feel free to let me know.
Mhm.
when that is.
Okay.
Grawl's gonna look at the other and say, well, now the initial hubbub and also Gil has returned to us is over. Should we actually check out this place? It's a large settlement. Maybe there'll be port of use nearby.
Like what?
I already have this great shield. I wonder if there's any knowledge about the blackened eye in texts or...
I
And-
still vote we go with the original plan and go to the library to find out what happened to Gil. He still can't tell us anything.
Yes. It's
We
very
need to
uncommon
see if they
occurrence.
have any scrolls or manuscripts depicting the sort of things that we saw happen today.
I've never seen a fallen Fae fall back into the Fae realm before. If that is what happened, I agree with Sir Alan. I gesture over at Ninsala.
Ho, friends, to the library.
Okay.
Fluffy, you're coming too?
Of course. I want to know what happened.
I'm gonna hug Ninsala.
Oh,
Okay.
like hug him back and like rub
It's like
my face against his chest. Like, yeah.
So, Ninsala, you take 1d6. No, I'm just joking. Of crushing damage.
The
Oh, no.
comforting embrace of a carapace.
Yes. So, I had to make the joke. So you three, well, the four of you, but the three who are currently conscious, are going to be heading on up to the aspirants district.
Yeah. I'd also take out the bread that was left over from the breakfast and like continue eating that now.
Okay. And like as you're going that way, Kinla has like only just caught up, and he's like, any explanation as to why the sudden change of direction? I thought we were heading to the library.
The Gil's back.
Our
Gil,
friend,
you're-
the one that disappeared.
What do you mean disappeared?
Didn't we already tell you?
No, you never told him. You never told him what happened. Remember, he wasn't in the temple, and you never told him.
This is Grawl recollecting his memories. Oh, right. Our friend disappeared.
What do you mean disappeared? I thought that's what the Fae do all the time.
No, not the Fallen. The Fallen cannot go into the Fae realm that I know of. He just vanished, and we need to know why.
So he's back?
Yes, he's...
Well, I don't see him.
I believe... I gesture over at Sir Alan's beard. He made a little nook inside his beard. He's taking a nap. Understandably, after he just disappeared into nothing, so to
Okay.
speak, possibly.
So, what now? More running?
We are now in the pursuit of knowledge. Back to the library, it seems. Well, to the library, it seems.
Very well. Lead the way. Please, no picking me up this time.
Oh, Kienla, I apologize. I was excited. You know how it is when a Kragnov is excited.
No,
maybe you
I don't. Nor do I wish to continue finding out.
Acceptable.
Okay, so you three are gonna slowly head on up to the Thistle Branch Library. I believe that's what I haven't noted down, just in case I get my notes mixed up. I'll quickly
Kienla,
check.
is
Yes?
there anything else of use up in the top district? He points upwards.
Well, the top district is the residential.
Oh, shit,
Unless you're
so
talking
it's
about the third. The third floor.
Oh, the third. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the third floor is the Aspirant District. So he'll be like, well, it's where the college is. You've already experienced the temple, so I believe, and there is the library.
Okay, thank you very much, Kienla. And sorry again.
Like there are other like there are houses on like every floor. Like there are houses where people live, but usually they're like associated with the people that like work on that floor. For example, like the librarian would probably live in the aspirants district. They would probably live like on that floor, like maybe in a hut somewhere on that floor. So the residential district is essentially where just citizens live. kind of like everyone else, I guess. So yeah, there are like other buildings. It's not just like devoid of life other than those three. But those are like the three most notable places to go on the in the Aspirants District.
Okay. So we'll continue our ascent to the library.
Okay, so you finally get up there, and as you approach, like Kinla is kind of like ushering you like which direction to go. Like as you're like turning around, like not sure where to go, Kinla is kind of like he just nods like slightly to the left or slightly to the right. And as you're coming up to the college, not college, the library, sorry, you can hear whimpering from somewhere.
Do we have any idea where it's coming from?
You hear that it is coming from, well, you can hear vertically. It's on your vertical level. You can't really make out where though, but it's somewhere at least in front of you, because it's getting it's only just become apparent as you've been walking forwards. So you assume it's in front of you.
Do you all hear that?
Yes.
What is it with the Aspirants District and hearing whimpering and crying?
I don't know. But
sorry,
at least
Ninsala.
it's not me this time.
Maybe Keenlaw, do you hear it as well?
And he'll just nod, because he's like still fairly behind you, but Evan is very, very particular on sounds, can fairly easily pick up the sound, even though he's like a good 10-15 feet behind you. And he'll just nod and say, yes?
Maybe we should absolutely investigate that. Someone seems to be in distress. Graal's gonna run on ahead
Okay.
towards wherever he thinks it comes from.
It doesn't seem to be getting any like louder or quieter. Roughly the same volume.
I can't seem to hear where this is coming from. Do you... Ninsala, do you hear it? Can you hear where this is coming from?
I'm not sure. Can I make a perception check on that? Like, to see where it's coming from?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. It's
Do you have advantage or just
no, I do have advantage because of my heightened senses, and this is hearing. So that's 15 plus perception.
which should be high.
Perception, I have +2, so it's 19. No, 17. Sorry.
So you can hear that the whimpering is so you're walking on like the tree that is closest to you, the tree that this boardwalk is like on, is to your right. So you're like to your left would be like the balcony, and you're walking along, and the college, not the college, I keep saying the college, the library is still like a good like 50 feet away in front of you, and there are like several huts to your right that you are like passing as you're wandering there, and you can hear that the whimpering is coming from the right, from supposedly one of the huts,
Okay.
or at least in the direction of those huts.
So I'll go slowly towards those huts
Mhm.
and see if I can make out from which of those huts it's coming from.
So, as you, I'm assuming the others are following.
Gral's gonna be following Ninsala after he sees her like listening.
Okay. So as the party gets closer to these huts and kind of like is looking around them, you notice one of the huts is boarded up, and there is very, very faint remnants of black speckles across one of the walls on the outside. And you can hear the whimpering getting louder as you walk towards the boarded up hut.
Oh. Do you see these speckles? Oh.
Yes,
Can I-
unfortunately.
Divine sense.
Sure, okay, yeah.
Detect within any presence of any good or evil within 60 feet.
Read me what it does again, specifically.
I will. I will try.
I mean, I can open it up and read if.
No, it's fine. It's cool. We good.
Okay.
Just
to save your
where'd it
throat.
go? Where's it gone? Divine sense. The presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings in like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of all of this, until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any bad shit within 60 feet of you that's not behind total cover. You know the type of the being,
Okay.
but not its identity. And basically, this is the last time I can do this. Until I rest.
Okay.
Well, we did long rest just now, didn't we?
No.
Before we...
Gil is resting in your beard.
No, but before Gil came back, we rested, and then that was...
However, to rest for you, yours is differently,
Yes.
remember?
Yes, no, how far into sunlight are we?
You do need to rest for 4 hours in sunlight. So you don't have to rest, to get a long rest, you don't have to rest as long, you rest half as long, but it has to be in sunlight. So, because you haven't been resting, you haven't rested yet, technically.
Alright, we haven't rested. Alright, cool.
You haven't. The other two have. They long rested.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just so you know. Okay, so you use your divine sense, and you don't really detect anything.
Well, that's good. Seems like the coast might be relatively safe. Not
And
necessarily.
by which
clear,
I
but
mean
safe.
you don't detect anything at all.
Does Graal recognize the speckling?
Roll for Arcana.
Okay. Two. Plus nothing.
Graal doesn't... No. Even with that roll, it immediately seems ominous to Graal.
This can be of no good. Whimpering, black speckling, in a boarded up house. I think we should take action.
Would that be okay with the guard. Like,
Grr.
So what are you asking to do?
guard.
Grawl is gonna look over at Kinla. How long has this house been boarded up?
And he kind of just shrugs and says, I see it as no one is living here currently. Usually the huts get boarded up if no one is currently living there.
If your ears are deceiving you like mine, it seems like somebody is living in there, and we need to know what.
Well, if anything, it doesn't sound like they're living there. More like
But-
they are just in there.
How would they, pray tell, get in there while it was boarded up?
And he just shrugs.
How much does a door cost?
He kind of just like rolls his eyes and he says, whatever you're thinking, this will be taken up with the High Warden. This is out of my control. I'm here to merely watch over you and make sure that you don't kill anyone.
Grawl looks over at the rest of the party. Is it worth it?
I don't know. I mean,
Just-
we could
Just
maybe.
2 big branchy thumbs up from me.
Maybe I could like go around and see if there's like another entrance where
That-
whatever is in there.
Ninsala, I'm gonna be honest for a second here. I didn't consider any other entrances.
I mean, you could try and knock. I don't know.
I feel like we have the surprise if it turns out to be something evil within there.
Well,
Are you trying to look for... Are you trying to look for another entrance?
yeah.
Or was that just
don't
like a
know.
passing thought?
I mean, I thought about it, but seeing as Grawl doesn't want to knock, I'll go around and look.
Graal never wants to knock.
He absolutely doesn't.
He is not the crab that knocks. Okay, so what are you gonna do then?
I'll look for another entrance or some hole in a wall or window in the boarding where I can maybe look inside. Or see what's in there.
So, Ninsala has a quick wander around. You can wander like all the way around the hut, and you do not see any other entrance. And Kinla kind of like shouts over and says, most of these are just front door.
I mean, maybe whoever got in there like made a different entrance. Who knows? So I didn't see anything.
Kinla, you would know of comings and goings, correct?
Well, not me particularly, but the wardens keep an eye on the place. Why?
Do you know who would have lived here?
I'd have to check records. But as far as my memory serves me, not quite sure currently.
Grawl drops all of his money on the floor,
Okay.
which would be 14 Erela and 9 Era. I'll just drop off the Erela on the ground, so like 14 hundo.
Okay, what, like in a bag? You're just gonna like
In a bag,
dump it on the floor?
yeah.
Okay. And Kinla kind of looks at you and says, yes?
Time to do what we always do. I turn round and I shoulder barge the door as hard as I can.
As I
Okay
see
then,
that, I wanna
so just
try
before
and
you do
go
that,
out.
Kinla kind of picks this up and looks at you and says, You've got 5 minutes. And kind of like
Kira,
he kind of like
I always
wanders.
liked you.
He kind of like wanders, like in the opposite direction, kind of like nonchalantly, and he just hears behind him this of like the door like crashing in, and his ears kind of
I
like
don't
twitch.
need to strength check.
No, it's just like a wooden door.
Okay.
You like obliterate
It's a
this door.
helpless door.
It's just a helpless wooden door that was just like
What is
barricaded
it
with
gonna
more
do?
wood.
Throw its
It-
AC at you? Come on.
It
Yeah.
would still be like if you rolled the nat one on a strength check,
Yeah.
giant crab and a
Yeah,
versus a
giant
plank of
enemy
wood.
crab god would have just like smashed his way through regardless. It's just a little wooden door.
Okay.
And like Kinlar's like ears kind of like flicker, and he like winces, and he just shakes his head and carries on walking slightly forwards.
I love Kid Law.
And as you do so, you smash in and you see a dark figure in like a fetal position in the back corner of the room suddenly look up with you can't see their eyes. Their eyes are shrouded in the same chevron pattern as the blackened eye, and this creature looks visibly distraught and shocked from this massive Kragnova shoulder barging, smashing the door, splintering it across the room, and she kind of like looks up and basically just collapses unconscious.
Oh. Graal's gonna wander over there and hold them anyway. I'm gonna hold their body in like a grapple, just even though they're unconscious.
Okay, yeah. What's the rest of the party gonna do after Graal made such a wonderful entrance, or removed
Well,
the entrance?
Big
I was
sleepy
getting-
times.
I was getting my longbow out just in case,
Okay.
but I see that he's coming back with this like whatever that is, and I'm like, still, what is that?
Looks like we found exactly what we were looking for.
Are you bringing them outside?
Oh yeah, I'm holding them.
Okay, so as you pick them up, you can tell now that they are in like less than dim light. You can now tell that they are female, and because you can see like a shape to them, and you can as soon as like you bring her out, like how are you carrying her?
I was just gonna like basically got my from the back like scooped around the arms so that they are restrained.
Okay, so
sort
kind of like
this kind
that,
of grip.
and you're kind of like
Yeah,
just like
hands behind the head.
okay, and like as you pick her up, like her hood falls back, and you can see. Let me just quickly check. So you can see she looks like an Ever. Now that her hood has like fallen back, her ears, her like tattered dark furred ears kind of like spring up from underneath the hood. And as soon as she's like unconscious, and as soon as she touches like the sunlight, she immediately wakes up and yelps in pain and recoils, like with her arms like being held back. She kind of like hisses and recoils, and you can see like glistening tears coming from like this darkness
I'll
she yelps
react to that. I'd like to step back into the house backwards as quickly as I can.
Okay.
I'm going to try and talk to the rest of the party. Can you check her for a dagger?
Sure. Sir Alan, get the guard back in here. He should probably see this. I know
Meanwhile,
it.
just gesture to him. And
You
can
would
he hear
have
me?
to. You would have to shout like he's made distance.
If
now.
I shout I'm going to die, can we pretend I've shouted at him?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, Sir Alan would have to shout to get attention because he's like a fair distance away now that all this. He like heard this and he's like, I'm getting as far away as possible because if another warden experiences this ain't my problem.
Can I, like, you know the bit in Two Towers where Treebeard makes that real loud noise?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Can I do that?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I won't get you to do it. Any other day I would have, but
Yeah. If
I'll
I do,
excuse
I'm
you.
like-
I'll excuse you. Yeah.
No, that ain't happening.
So his like ears perk up and he turns around, and what are you doing? You like trying to like flag him down?
Yes, basically tree howling to try and get his attention
Okay.
with the loudest possible rumbling noise I can do.
Sure. Okay, so he'll kind of like be like think like, okay, that was fast. And he wanders back. And when he gets in range, he's like, what's the trouble now aside from the trouble you've just caused?
Black and die.
What
You're not even close to talk to him.
Am I not?
you're like still in the hut.
My bad.
Like, you're literally just a silhouette in a dark room 100 feet away, just mouthing things at him with little mouth tentacles.
Like I would say
True.
like even well, you're not too far away from each other. Like from Graal in the hut to the others who are like 10 to 15 feet away to Kinla who's like a good 30 feet away or so. I would say Kinla could probably have even like picked up on murmuring from in the hut but wouldn't have like made it out. So he'd have probably heard you say something but he wouldn't have heard it. Like what you said. So if anything, the others would have heard Graal. So yeah, Kinla will just reiterate, well, what's going on?
I can't go outside.
Well, he's talking to Sir Alan. I didn't know if
How
Cap-
far is he from me now?
he's in like he can hear you from there, like maybe 20 feet away.
We appear to have found a lead, Warden. I thought you might want to come and see.
A lead to what?
To the murders, potentially, we found something.
Something?
I'm going to gesture towards the hut.
Very well. And he'll wander on over to the hut and kind of like he'll usher you lot forwards with him, and he'll wander around the corner and see, and like he has dark vision, he can see in there just like all ever can. And he sees this like sobbing mess of a girl being like held by Graal. And he just says, what is the meaning of this?
I sort of gesture with my head at the chevrons.
Mm-hmm. And he'll just say, I can see that. Have you got anything from her?
Not yet, but I've heard, pray tell, we've seen, well, my party have seen these people before, and they are known to have a, it was amethyst, right?
Yeah.
An amethyst hilted dagger or pendant. We need to find one of those. Can you check her?
Yes, certainly. So this is the infamous blackened eye I've heard so much about. Unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure meeting such a lovely cult. And he'll kind of like check her over, and he like pats her on the thigh, and she'll wince like as he's touching her. He pats her on the thigh and pulls out a dagger from her side, and he kind of like he chucks it on the floor, like out of the way, like to the side of the room. He said, "That your dagger?"
Is it amethyst?
Yes. Discord went really funky then.
It's okay. Seems so. Every single member of the Blackened Eye that I on my party, unfortunately, I keep seeming to miss them. All of them have some form of amethyst. Also, another thing I should note. When I tried to take this one outside, she winced in pain. At the touch of the sunlight, it seems.
Oh, very interesting.
I have never heard anything of the like.
And he says, "My aquatic friend, would you please demonstrate?"
Graal's gonna sort of like dejectedly look back at Keenlar and say, "I'd really rather not cause anyone pain unless they deserve it. I don't know if this one is killed."
Well, why not cut the root before the flower blooms?
I resent that analogy.
Apologies, my friend. I didn't mean any offense.
None taken. Just watch yourself next time.
I cannot move her arms. Can one of you put her hand out in the sunlight? No matter how evil one is, I do not wish to cause harm to someone who I don't know has caused harm.
She, by the way, she is dressed exactly the same attire, so she is like literally completely clothed from head to toe, including like gloves, boots, everything. She's completely covered, other than, like I said before, the like bottom half of her face that doesn't have this like chevron across her eyes.
It seems to require exposed skin, so you may have to remove a glove.
And he says, "Very well," and kind of like grabs the end and just like yanks it off her hand. And he says, "Please demonstrate."
I can't. As you can see, my arms are in use, and if she wakes up, I want to make sure she's restrained. You will have to move her arm.
She is like awake now. Like she did like initially collapse unconscious from the shock of like you bursting in. She was already like shaken up, and she kind of like passed out from that. The second you like forced her face into the sun, the pain woke her up. So she's like conscious. She's just like not wanting to converse, I guess.
The way I'm holding her is underneath her arms, so they're still loose, but kind of in an upwards position, so you can still move them.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and direct Keenlar to do that. I think I already said.
Okay, so you want like him to like grab like one of her hands and like push
Move
it out into the sun.
sunlight.
So as you like get closer, she's been like trying to like look away this whole time. You still can't see her eyes, but you can tell she's been like tilting her head to look away. And as you do that, she like when you're getting closer to the sunlight, she looks over and she's like trying to like pull back from you, like moving her closer to it.
Shh. I do not wish to cause you harm. It'll be over in a moment.
So you gonna keep like moving her forwards?
Yeah, I'm gonna move as close as I can so that they can grab her arm.
So Kinla kind of like grabs her arm and like slowly pushes her hand out into the sun. You can see like the sun passing over, and like as it touches her, she like screams out in pain. And he like grabs her arm and like pushes her back in, and he says, "Very interesting."
I've never seen anything of the like. This would explain why they're covered, but does not explain who they are.
And he'll say to you, I have an idea of what it is, but this might be better explained to the High Warden herself.
Makes sense. If we cover her, I will take her.
And as soon as he says to the High Warden herself, this blackened eye, supposed Ever that you are like grappling, immediately looks over to Kinla and says, "Please don't, please."
Seems like this one doesn't want to see the High Warden. I can't say I don't understand.
And she's like, her skin, you notice on her face and her hand, where you put her like into the sun, is like flecked, as if it was like damaged. And she is like pathetically sobbing to herself. You can see tears are like running out of like the darkness. You can see tears are streaming down her eyes, and she just, under her breath, just says, "Please, just kill me."
I cannot do that. Why? Why do you wish to die? You may have a chance to live.
And she just responds like, "Why did all of this happen to me? I didn't deserve this."
Somebody grab the dagger. Make sure she doesn't have it.
Who wants to grab it?
I grabbed the dagger, so
Okay.
the glove, and put it back onto her hand.
Okay.
Is it a good idea for the Tyrasia Erva to grab the amethyst dagger? The guards and forget
I
its
mean,
name.
I had the dagger too.
I mean, if anything, Kinla would have seen her pick it up, so he's kind of like a witness towards it.
I'm just thinking future encounters.
Yeah, that's
like, we
that's
get
totally
another
reasonable.
day.
I'm just saying, like, Kinla has seen it. He knows that, as far as he's aware, Ninsala is innocent.
Yeah, I'm just gonna Sir Alan is gonna reach over and, like, as she's picking it up, just reach and gently take it and put it in his pack.
Definitely
I was
can't get
gonna
it in
do
your
that
pack.
anyway. Like, what? Excuse me.
We don't know. People are suspicious. In the last village we were in, the guards were very mistrusting. I just want to keep you
I
safe.
just said I pick it up and give it to the guard. You interrupted me. Thanks.
Apologies.
So I take the dagger and give it to Kinla, and I take the glove and put it on the girl's hand, and also like take her hood and like put it back on her head, so she's like protected from the sunlight.
Fluffy, I feel bad for this one. Kinla, I
Yeah.
believe you said we had 5 minutes.
And he'll like he like looks up at you, and that statement pissed him off. But he's like, I believe I was gone for 2 of those. And he'll kind of like squint at you and turn around and walk off in the direction that he did before.
Friends, I'm conflicted. This one looks exactly like the Blackened Eye, so I hear, but seems different to the others. Do you have any idea why?
Well, I'm guessing she did not join this voluntarily, and she regrets what she did. Whatever it is that she did.
Graal's gonna look down at the girl in his arms and say, if you cooperate with us, I will do my best to see you are caused no harm.
She's just like sobbing. Almost as if that just fell on deaf ears. And she keeps like murmuring to herself, like, please just kill me.
This one's heavy. I'm gonna... Sir Alan. Friend, can you block the door with your body if possible?
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you, friend. I'm gonna walk back to where she initially was, and I am going to place her back on the floor.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to do that? You know that can just disappear in smoke, right?
Ninsala, so I hear from before, that it seems required the dagger. We should be safe. And if not, I'll kill her myself.
Well then.
I do not wish to. This crying little cub, I do not wish to harm this one.
And you can kind of just hear, like, her sobbing grow, like... The volume of her sobbing kind of, like, quietens, but she's, like, shaking, like, more from it now. Almost like the opposite of, like, you know when you're, like, laughing so much you then start going quiet and it's just all, like, from the stomach, like, barely being able to breathe. It's kind of like that, where, she's just, like, crying so much it's now got to the point where not much sound's coming out. She's now just, like, for lack of a better way to describe it, she's currently in the most pathetic state you can see.
Did I actually place her on the ground?
You put her on the ground?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
put her back down.
So she's just gonna, like, slump and, like, grab her, like, left knee and just, like, hug it. And she's just, like, shaking all over.
Do you need water? Food?
And again, falls on deaf ears. She's kind of just, like, shaking her head, like, why me?
Why you what? What did you do?
And she's, like, trying to regain composure enough to be able to talk. And she just says, one night I woke up to arguing in the house. I didn't know who it was. It was just... I could just hear arguing. It sounded like my parents. And as I got out of bed, I opened the door slightly and saw my brother was in a fit of rage, shouting at my parents. I don't think he knew that I was home, but he took a knife to them, and I saw him stab them both, time after time, right in front of me. He killed my father immediately, and as far as I could tell, my mother lost consciousness. He's much larger than me. I didn't think I'd have a chance, and the only thing I thought to do was to try and get him before he got me. So I snuck out of my room and grabbed the nearest knife I could find, and I stabbed him in the back. I feared that if he was going to kill my parents, then he would have killed me as well. All I remember that night was crying myself to sleep on the floor, surrounded by my dead family. And when I woke up, the wardens, all they saw was me on the floor with my dead family.
Shh. Don't worry, little one. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Can I make an insight check to tell if she's telling the truth?
Sure, go for it.
I'll got one out. That's it.
That's a 4.
Plus 7.
7 total?
Yeah.
So, as far as you can tell, she's telling the truth.
Okay.
And this is like between her like sniffling, like this would get really tiring for me to do because I'd probably be hyperventilating at this point. But she's like sniffling, trying to hold back tears, trying to basically form like complete sentences. But this is basically what you're getting out of her. And she just goes on to say that the wardens, like, neighbors overheard struggle in the night, and they asked the wardens to check in the morning to see what happened. And all the wardens found were this girl with a knife in her hand, surrounded by 3 bodies.
Ninsala, Alan, I trust this one. And if what she is telling is the truth, then she's innocent.
Yeah, but then what happened? Like, she's like now like dying. If she has the sunlight, something else has happened.
Little one, why does the sun hurt you?
The girl kind of like looks up at you and then notices like Ninsala, and she goes, "You don't know what it feels like to be sundered, do you?"
Well, no. I never took the ritual, so I wouldn't know.
Sundered? Ninsala, what does that mean?
That is, you know of the unification ritual, right?
The stone, yes, I've seen a few ever in my time.
The sundering is the opposite.
They remove it?
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's not very nice.
Little one. How? I don't understand. Can you... I promise you, I'm not going to hurt you. Could you tell us more? We've heard of a group called the Black and Die. And you seem of a different temperament to the others that my party have seen.
And so she'll go on to say, basically, I'm not going to do the voice for this whole time because it's exhausting to do. But essentially, she explains that she was taken away. She was found by the wardens, and she was essentially like, she couldn't talk. She was so overwhelmed by shock with what happened, she couldn't speak. She couldn't speak in her defense, so the wardens could only assume that she was the cause of this. I mean, she was still holding the knife, and kind of like just in a fetal position, surrounded by bodies of her parents and her brother. And she just says, I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything. So
Do you know?
they took me to the roots. And I don't think any of you would know what the roots are, but essentially it's like jail. The roots, the reason why the Warden's Enclave is on the ground floor is because it actually goes lower. It goes below the ground, and the roots are literally like an organic jail. So they call it the roots. So she says that
they're like the thickest part.
yeah. And she says she was taken to the roots, and they were trying to question her, and she couldn't speak. Like, physically couldn't bring herself to talk. So they assumed the worst and charged her with 3 counts of murder. And she was sundered that night and cast out of Tyrasia. And for those of you who don't know what sundering is, it's essentially when an Ever goes through the unification ritual to be unified with the gemstone. They're essentially like living as like a symbiote with the gemstone and its power. For that to be forcibly removed is like literally a fate worse than death, because it's essentially you are given like a timer for your life, and the lower that timer ticks, you will become weaker and weaker, and things will start affecting you. Your immune system gets incredibly weak, to the point where you will just die. And that is what's known as an Eravir. So this girl, now that you know that she was sundered, this girl is in fact an Eravir, not an Ever. And
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
About what time is it in game right now?
It's I'd probably say like midday. You've been searching around for, so it's probably been like only 4 hours that you've been doing stuff for. Maybe even 3 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, and she basically says she was cast out and said if she were to come back, if she were to show her face in Tyrasia again, she would be killed.
Tell me, little one, what do you know of the Black and Die, the chevrons on your face? We've seen others.
She just shakes her head, and she says, "It's my only chance. I'm not saying anything."
I'm gonna try and persuade her to talk.
Sure.
I'm better at intimidation, but she's nice. It's a 7, no chance.
She just shakes her head, says, "I can't do it. It's my only chance for freedom."
I do not want to bring this one to the wardens. If what she says is the truth, this one does not deserve to die.
But she's our only lead. like, you have seen what the Blackened Eye does. This is way bigger than just this one girl. This goes beyond these two villages where we have been so far and where we have witnessed the murders and the whatever Shadow Fang madness.
And it seems like the others vanished without a trace before saying a word. This one is talking to us, albeit through sobs. I think we have more of a chance to learn more about the Blackened Eye if we hold on to her
So
than if we take them.
So just to give you an indication of, huh?
So you wanna keep her as pet? What?
I want to get more information from her.
As like an indication, your 3 minutes is up. You can hear Kinla. Like, you can hear like footsteps, but they're getting louder, and you can only assume that it's Kinla walking towards you.
Seems like we're running out of time. If we bring her to the High Warden, she will kill her without a thought.
No, I don't think so. Like, she has information regarding the Blackened Eye, which is probably worth more than her death. I don't think the High Warden is that stuck up that she would actually just kill her, because the Blackened Eye is a threat to everyone, basically. So that would be incredibly stupid to just kill her.
Yes. But she's also sundered and ran away. I'm gonna bend down and try and talk to the Aravir again.
Okay.
Girl, what is your name?
And she kind of like looks up at you, like very timidly, and she says, "What does it matter?"
It matters to me.
So she kind of like takes like a breath, and she'll say, "Saletha Ilimis," and then
Can I get a spelling on that, please?
yeah, sure. And then she pauses for like a few seconds, and then says, "Os Razad."
I figured as much with the Amethyst Hilted Dag. I'm sorry we took it. We've had bad experiences with the Blackened Eye in the past.
By the way, the Razadi are the emerald, not the...
The Emerald, sorry, that's
Yeah.
my bad.
Just
That's
to
the
clarify.
Doroshi.
Yeah, the
That's my
Didoshi are the amethyst. The Razad are like fairly close. Like you're geographically closest to Aldrazad.
Okay.
That's why like the majority inhabiting this forest are Razadi ever.
Seletha, it seems like we have to take you to the Wardens, but I swear it to you. I swear I will not let them kill you without letting you speak your word first. If you trust me and you speak to the Wardens, they may yet make you live. Let you live.
And like as you say that, you realize there's two sets of footsteps coming.
Oh shit.
And you can hear Kinla's voice, and he says, "My lady, pay no attention to the door. We found it like this." And
Good guy.
Good.
you see High Warden Ethelmea wander around the corner, and she says, "So I hear there's trouble. What exactly have you found?" my, well, I wouldn't say friend. Sea demon.
I'll take Sea Demon, thank you, High Warden. Better than scum. We have found a member of the Blackened Eye, so it seems, but I have many questions about this one. You must let her speak her word.
And then she kind of like as you're like halfway through the sentence, she looks down and notices the girl, and she kind of puts her hand up as if to say, like, quiet. And she says, "Congratulations! You finally managed to find this Tirith Kuralai." And then spits at her feet. And she says, "Who are you? Who sent you? Tell me now, or your husk will adorn the walls of this hut forever." And Saletha kind of like winces down and tries not to even like look in the direction of the High Warden. And you can see that Elodie is like agitated by this, and she like wanders on over and like picks the girl up like by her like chest piece and says, "I can easily make a little insect like you talk. So you either speak up now, or I'll make you cough it up back at the Warden's Enclave." And as soon as she like finishes her sentence, she wipes across one of like her eyes and wipes away the soot, revealing like her eye. And Elodie is immediately taken aback and throws the girl to the ground, like throws her off, throws her to the ground. And Saletha says, please don't hurt me, please. And Elodie replies, "Don't hurt you. You murdered my sister, you pathetic waste of air." And immediately kicks her in the stomach. And Saletha coughs up like a small amount of blood like on the floor and keels over, bursting into tears. And like as she's sobbing for like 5 seconds, you see Saletha kind of like stop crying and then like look around, and you can see like her right eye. Wait, no, would it be her left eye, I think? Yeah, because if you're wiping across, yeah, her left eye. You can see her left eye now visibly. The right eye is still like magical darkness kind of thing. And you see her like looking around as if she can hear something. And you see she's like visibly distressed, like looking around. And then all of a sudden she shouts, "Arathin, no!" And then she bursts into black fog, and as the fog dissipates, she is nowhere to be seen.
What?
We took the dagger! How?
What?
She was
No.
sundered. It cannot be a gemstone.
No, like none of us had the dagger. The dagger was still in the guard's hand. Yeah.
And as you're like questioning, Elodie looks like ragingly angry and immediately smashes her shield against the wall of the hut, like splintering it and caving it in. Not the hut, just like the wall where she smashes. It's like visibly like smashed in. And she just like curses out and looks to the three of you and says, "You 3, 4, wherever your friend is, you 4, Kinla, you're going to Zirathil." And that's the end of chapter 5.
What?
Holy fuck. Please no one tell her.
Oh my
Please.
god.
Oh my god.
God.
Is question at OOC. Zirathil, is that the dungeon?
The dungeon that you know of
The
is Zirathil Caverns.
Oh.
Can you spell Zerathil for me?
Yeah, sure.
Is it an X? I feel like it's an X.
It's not. It's
Oh, it's not.
it's
Okay.
a
Zirathil. I also wrote down Tirith Kuralai and
yeah, so Tirith Kuralai is actually Evan. And if you want a literal translation, because no one is going to know what this means, it's her making a mockery of the name Blackened Eye. It essentially roughly translates to blackened speck of dirt.
oh, damn.
So yeah, like it's the word of like black and then blackened. And she's essentially calling her like filth, but calling her like blackened filth, as if to say she's like taking the piss out of the name.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and I can actually post this.
This is gonna be a hard week to wait.
Yeah.
That's what
Because
she
there's
said.
no. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, there's no
No,
chapter
you're gonna have to
6
wait
next
a
week.
Oh, we're waiting a week.
Yeah, you guys
Damn
are.
it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait 2 weeks till chapter 6.
Yeah, this is.
I just
gonna
need
be
to
a
give
long
prop.
2 weeks.
No.
Props on the
Hey.
front. Sorry, Cap. Thank you, Sarah. That voice for the sundered girl, that was cranking my heartstrings. Let me tell you,
Good.
I got emosh.
Distressed little cub is basically the voice I can do well.
Can we have some hearts in chat for Captain Heretic, please?
Yeah, for holding in there.
Yeah.
So that's the end of
It's a good thing Gil was asleep because.
Yeah.
yeah. So Gil was asleep
He
through
would've
all
been
that.
like, you bitch.
You wouldn't remember.
That's
He wouldn't
true.
have been able to speak.
Fuck.
Oh, that's you.
That's true.
Yeah, that true as well. That minor fact of Gil can't talk. Yeah, that.
Angry Gil noises.
Buzzing around like Tinkerbell. Like,
So now that it's the end of the chapter, what did you guys think? Both party
Incredible.
and chat. Did you enjoy it?
What the fuck?
Incredible. Like, me personally, that was my favorite chapter so far.
Really? Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's my favorite one so far too. It was really, really good.
got me in so many different fronts.
I liked it.
That reveal, every hair on my body stood up.
Yeah, I got chills too.
So yeah, just so you guys know, chapter 6 won't be until let's have a quick look at the calendar. It won't be on the 5th because I'm actually not going to be here. It will be on the 12th of October. Just so you know. So next week there will not be TOT. Apologies, but
We
I'm
just-
literally not here.
Can
So
we
I
just
thought I would end it on the most heart-wrenching moment, just to be an asshole.
Yeah, thanks. I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it. I'm getting good at that.
Quick shout out to Mr. Green for prompting me in character to respond while I was in the middle of a coughing fit.
I'm so sorry, dude.
So yeah,
It's all good, dude. You're alright.
does the party have anything else to say before we wrap up?
Thank you again, honestly.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it was a really good session.
So the VOD of this will be up tomorrow. You have to wait 24 hours after a stream, so it'll be up tomorrow night, like late tomorrow night. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure DMing for you all, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for chapter 6.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Buddy.
Fatality.